I am here with Danae and Molly from Pound Fitness, and we just had an amazing class, awesome time. I don't know how long that was, but it flew by. The neighbors did come up to see what was happening, but I think we're going to be okay. We had an awesome time.
Yeah, next time
Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. So thanks for coming and hosting the class. We had a blast.
We had fun.
And so typically after a class like this, most of the time people do not get a chance to get to know the instructors. In your case, I feel like you guys are pretty open book, so we might not learn anything new today. However, we want to get into your story a little bit more. We want to hear more about Pound Fitness, but honestly, we want to know more about you two. So, first of all, how did you two meet? How long? Give us a backstory of this.
You want me to start?
Sure.
Okay.
This routine here.
This comedy routine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was teaching Zumba at a fitness studio up in Sunbury, and it was the first place I'd ever taught. So I was spreading my wings out on my own, and she would come to class. And I actually, in class, when I was teaching Pound, I was like, man, she has good form. She'd be a great help. She'd be a great help. I find it's more fun to team teach because you always have someone doing high or low. It's just more fun. You can just have a lot of fun. So as time went on, she ended up getting certified in Pound and Zumba, actually, both. And so it's fun. We like to play and have a good time. And so that's kind of how it started. It's been about 4.
Yeah, you've been teaching for 6 years.
Right.
And
so we've been friends for
6.
And it just clicked. And
wow.
We just clicked. Yeah. And I'm quite a bit older than her. But it just
really?
Yeah.
I would not have.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
16 years.
I actually 16 years on her.
I mean,
you okay?
Yeah.
But who's counting?
Yeah. But I mean, this is the point: is exercise keeps you young, and
Absolutely.
And it's great because if one of us has an injury or not having a good day or forgets something, it is just so nice to have that person there to help you out and pick you back up and get you back rolling or keep things going or
fun.
Yeah. That's been good.
Yeah.
So,
Good summary.
Yeah.
So let's dig into young Danae and young Molly. Did you guys always have the fitness bug? What was 8 or 10-year-old?
You go.
Oh my God.
You go first.
Like?
Yes. So I am the youngest of 4 with 2 brothers. My dad played college ball. So I, from the age of probably 2, have been sports oriented. I had to, or else I got to sit at home and do nothing. So I've always been sports oriented. And then as I've gotten older, my parents are a little bit overweight, or a lot overweight. And I see how hard it is for them to do things. And I see when they do try to lose weight, how hard it is for them to lose weight and how it's affecting their mobility and things like that. So I see that and I'm like, I don't want that. And I want to help people who are like that to motivate them and get them back onto a healthy track. But I'm like, if I start now, I'm going to not get there. Yeah.
I can relate. So often, in our office, we see a ton of people who have worked so hard to get to retirement, and then they're in such poor health that they don't get to enjoy it. And that is always on my mind. I do not want that to be me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, or anyone else, right? Let's get that message of prevention. Don't wait until you're. It's too far. Too far in trouble. That's awesome. How about you?
So for me, I played tennis in high school and college. And then when I went to college, it was just a lot. So when I finally figured out what I wanted to do with my life, so I went to nursing school. It was just too much to play tennis and do nursing. So once I did that, I kind of fell out of doing things. Life was just busy. And what really pushed me into group fitness was my sister passed away. So I was depressed and hated life, which is not me. Clearly, I'm a very social bug. And so a friend asked me to go to a Zumba class. I was like, what's a Zumba class? Okay, so I went, and it was like, oh my gosh, everyone's having fun, and they're laughing, and the music, and it just really got me back into fitness. And it was really more for a mental thing for me in the beginning. But then I felt so good doing it. I just loved it. And then I found Pound, and just like, I loved Pound. Like, it's just so much fun. And it's really about bringing people together. For me, group fitness is, you make a family, and those are the people you take care of, and they're the ones that'll pick you up when you're down, and you walk in and you don't look quite right, and they're like, what's the matter? I had a bad day. Well, after class, everybody's laughing and happy, and really for me, it's just about coming in there for 45 minutes, you forget. You're in my class, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna rock it out, and for 45 minutes, you forget. And that's really what it is for me. And I have lots of stories, people always ask why you teach, and that's my thing, is you come in 45 minutes, you forget. So that's probably how I got here, I guess.
That's awesome. And you can tell by the people that have came in for the class today. I mean, you guys are definitely a tight-knit, community. That's really fun.
Yeah, we send messages when people aren't at class.
We track them down, make sure they're okay. And that's really for me, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, are you okay? So that's really it for me. And they think, I like to touch base on Facebook and things, but for me, it's more, hey, I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. Everything okay? Everything going all right? And so yeah, and again, it's just, this is your little family, and they hold you accountable.
Well, that's amazing. That's been so important over the last year, 100%, right?
Yes.
Having that community and so many people are trying to find that or build that, and I think it's become so apparent over the last year, like the effect that has on your mental health and physical health, but mental health as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely
That's awesome.
mental.
Yes. yeah. And it's great, because it is. It's building each other up, and that's what's important. And I think that's group fitness. It's scary to walk in a gym, because everybody knows each other, and you work in this group fitness class, and it happened here tonight. New people came in, and the people that knew, they're like, oh, you just go up there and get the sticks, and you go over here and do this, and they know the new people, and they just pick them right up, and now you're just part of the family. And that's just how it goes.
Well, that's hard to find. I mean, as a new person coming in, that's definitely hard to find, and so
absolutely.
I can see why you guys have gotten a good community together. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, we do.
So of all the group fitness, different types of group fitness, what drew you to Pound the most, or kind of Zumba, it sounds like, as well, but more Pound? I mean, there's I don't know how many, but a lot of group fitness classes.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. I think for me, Pound is something I can do long term. As you can see, there's they call it for all ages, all stages, and it's really for anybody. And that's probably the thing I feel like I'll be able to do this for a long time. You don't always have to hit the ground. Yeah, it's fun to hit the ground, but you don't have to. And you'll find you can walk in here and just even do part of the moves, and you're going to walk out there, something's going to be sore. So, even if you don't hit the ground every time, that's okay. You'll find something. And I've had people say, you were right, I do. This is sore, that's sore. And I said, well, just keep trying, you'll get there. So for me, and just seeing people when they do hit the floor, they're like, I did it. And you're like, it's so exciting, and you get to have that moment. But I just think it's just so much fun. It's great for your aggression. Yes. It's great to get out that
and loud music,
and it's loud music, and you kind of
changes
get to
your
be a rock
state.
star, and you just kind of walk out there and like, I felt good. I feel better now. So I think that's it for me. And it's music, which is why I think people tend to gravitate towards Pound, is because it's songs you may have heard before.
Yeah.
I would say for me, obviously all those reasons, but one of the biggest things is Pound is the whole community of Pound, from the United States to Puerto Rico to Ireland. It's all about inclusion of everybody. It doesn't matter any age, any stage, any part of your life that you're in. They're all so inclusive with everything. Like,
so it's not just you two, it's
just
the larger.
And that comes from the top, and from the person that created Pound, it just trickles down.
Yeah, so like one of the icons, who is the people that train people to become Pound pros, we met her once, and she's like, come out to Boston, stay with me, like. So then we met her again, and then we went to Boston and stayed in her house.
That's fun.
But
and I love that Pound Pro. Like I had I love that.
Pros,
Pound Pro. But it's all about inclusion. Like, say you wanted to take a Pound class on vacation in Florida, You could look it up online. You could ask us. We would find you somewhere, and you would walk in and be like, "Oh, I take pound," and they'd be like, "Oh, come in, take the front row." They're just everybody is very inclusive, and I think that's great because it gets people through the door to start their fitness journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know from running a business, there was a point in time where you said, okay, I'm going to invest in the franchise, it sounds like, and getting the training and traveling. So what was that? What prompted that step? Because you could have just taken group fitness classes forever, and you guys would have been a lot of fun hitting the class. But so what prompted, wanting to, I guess, take that next step between taking a class and now I want to teach it and actually invest in myself and into that?
Let me go first. Okay.
You wanted to go first.
No, I don't. You can go.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So for me, it's about changing lives. You make a huge impact, and you don't know what part of someone's life you're coming in on, and how much they need you. And they always say, you just are always so good, but I need them as much as they need me. So it's kind of a give and take. And you just don't know what part of someone's life you're coming in on, and that could have been their worst. I had someone tell me, "You saved me today." So I mean, that's really it for me. It's just really about making a connection, and giving them somewhere they feel safe. They can let it go for a little bit. So for me, it was really just helping people get past that certain point. Just get in the gym, like she's been saying. Find a community you feel safe in and that you can just be you in, and it's okay. And it's hard to find that. And I'm a very big stickler. Everyone in my class, you take care of that class. Those are your people, and we take care of them. And so I guess that's probably it for me the most. I was afraid when I became an instructor, it would make me hate it, because now it's a job. Yeah. But it actually made me love it more.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I would say pretty much the same, just because, I mean, when you're taking a class, and you can still help change people's lives taking a class, but when you're the instructor, and you have to know that you have a whole new set of responsibilities as the instructor, because you have to make sure they're safe, you have to make sure they have fun, you have to, teach them, you have to remember the routines and this and that. But then, like she said earlier, when you see someone get it, and you see them light up, like, you're like, that's why. Yeah. That's why I do it. Like, they just fell in love with themselves. They fell in love with working out. They fell in love with a healthier lifestyle. Like, they're going to come back. Like, you see it and you're like, oh, yes. The golden moment.
Yeah.
So things like that, like, it brings so much meaning to your life that you can help. Like, obviously the person has to get there themselves, but that you can help them get to falling in love with taking care of themselves. And just, some people come in and hate life. You can see it when they walk in. They're like, well, like, they hate it, and then you slowly see them start to change, and you slowly see them, and just getting to like witness that and play a role in it is just like awesome. It's just the coolest. Yeah, that's
great. It's not always roses, though, right?
No.
So tell us give some examples of, some obstacles that you guys have had to come through, because it didn't just start out with full classes and multiple classes and, everything being amazing. Right. Maybe it did. That's amazing if it did.
I've been pretty lucky.
Okay. But it's not always easy, right? So tell us, give us some examples of, maybe some obstacles, because it's easy for people to look up here and say, wow, you guys have it all together.
Yeah.
That's not always true.
No. So I was actually certified for 2.5-3 years before I even got a class. So which actually, I originally said no to it because it's such a far drive for me. So to Pickerington from Centerburg, I was like, no. And then this lovely beast, COVID, right, happened. So I was like thinking, I'm like, no, I could do it. So I reached out to them. I was like, if you guys still want to, I would love to teach there. And I started with just one class. And then I started on Fridays. Then I got a Monday night class. And then we decided we're like, we probably shouldn't go to the gym anymore with COVID. Like this was end of November, like with COVID and everything. And so I started a class and it was lower numbers. I started with 4 or 5 and I was getting it built up. I would have 10 to 15 on Fridays, and then Mondays were about 5 to 10. And then I was like, I'm going to take a break. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's the right decision. Well, it was, because then I ended up getting COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But then, obviously, that was super depressing and changed things. And but again, with like the Pound community, I would sit on her online class in my house in my pajamas because I couldn't do anything physically because it wiped me out. And I'd sit there and talk to everybody before and after class.
That's awesome.
Oh, so that was like a sunshine and a thunderstorm cloud all in one, because my life was other things were happening with my family, and my life was like in a downward spiral.
A lot going
just
on.
to get to see all our classes
and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're here, here. How are you? How are you?
So it's almost like a check-in, and we did it with everybody. And then I got better-ish and started teaching again, and now I'm having to rebuild that back up, and my numbers are down more, and so it's just like having to work it and get it back up again, which the 3 or 4 people that are coming are just as important as a 15 person class. So I always remind myself of that, because everyone wants a big class and everybody wants that, but I love my 3 or 4 people that come. So that's been like kind of a roller coaster of a year. But
it is hard. It's hard to build. I've been pretty lucky. Both the gyms that I've been at were kind of starting new things. So when I walked in, I was teaching Zumba, and then I brought Pound with me. Well, of course, the people that did Zumba are going to stick around and do Pound. So it was pretty easy to grow that class. And then I left and came to this gym. Well, my first class had 55 people. We had people out the door, and I was like, this is too many people. So I've been pretty lucky in that I came to a brand new gym that was just opening. So it was fairly easy
Influx
to start a new
people.
class because there was a lot of people. But it was tough when COVID came, and we, and I said, as a nurse, I was like, I can't be here. I just can't do this. It was kind of fun, I don't know if that's the right word, but to be able to have all of them follow you to Zoom and doing this on Zoom and doing it. Have 35 people, and I had people in Mexico, and I had people in DC, and I had people that normally took my classes when they lived here. Obviously, they don't live here anymore. It was kind of fun to get them back in class and get to see them. And it was an adventure. It was something different, but it's nice to be back in the gym and see people's faces, because I think people need that connection. But so I've been pretty lucky, but it's hard to grow class. It's hard. It's a lot of work. You have to put some effort into it, and it takes some work. It definitely takes some work to grow classes.
So what's next?
Gosh, I don't know.
More Pound.
More Pound. Keep pounding.
We just added another. I just added another class, so I'm up to 3 now.
Yeah.
So between the 2 of us, we have 5.
Yep.
So let's hear where you're at now, and a little bit more about the classes.
I'm at Next Level in Westerville, and I teach Sundays at 4, Tuesdays at 5:45, and just added Thursdays at 6:30. All in the evening. I'm not a morning person for fitness, so mine are all in the evening. So that's where I'm at right now.
Now, do you have to be a member of the gym?
Oh, good question. So you do not. They do. Your first class is free. So anyone that wants to come check it out, first class is free. If you want to just drop into classes, it's $10 a class. I do tell people that if they think they're going to come to 3 or 4 classes, it's really almost better to get membership, because it's like $30, $35. And that gives you access to the entire gym, all fitness classes. They have a sauna and all sorts of fun things. So it does open it up that you can do quite a. So I think if they get in the door and get ready, it's great, because then you can encourage them to try other things and try other classes, and they may find other classes they like too. And
Sure.
So, but so that's where I'm at.
And then I'm at Next Level in Pickerington.
Okay.
My classes are Mondays and Fridays at 5:45. And the cool thing is, if you have a membership to one gym, it counts for both.
So you can
go to either classes, any place. So that's the cool thing about that. But But it's a fun gym. We like it.
Yeah.
But you guys are constantly tag teaming the classes, right?
Yeah, we
Yes.
try as much,
Yeah.
As
when
much
we
as
can.
possible.
Yeah, when we can. You know, and again, it's so much more fun to be up here and be
Oh, yeah.
silly, and
Yeah.
you know, and I think it's fun for people. Like half the time they're cracking up, so it's fun. It makes it more.
We'll give them an ab workout too.
Yeah. And again, it's great because when you tell people low and then you go high, then they sometimes gets discombobulated. So it is great to have someone that can go low and someone that can go high so they can figure it out. And we've had people say a lot that they really liked being able to get both.
Oh, I
of them.
could see
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah. So.
Well, and different areas of the room can
Yes,
see you differently,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, we just try to make eye contact. So that way, if I can't see someone, she can. Because it's also about, are they okay?
Yeah.
Did they, and if someone walks, that's the other thing I really like about having two of us is I had someone walk out of a room one day and I said, I'll be back. Because I followed her, because she's not someone that ever leaves. And I like to make sure they're okay. Like, that's the nurse in me, I guess. But that's,
I just don't care. No, I just,
So it's just nice that she can keep the class
Yeah.
rolling,
Yeah.
and I can go and say, "Hey, are you okay?" Or vice versa. She'll follow them out, and be like, "Are you okay?" And
Yeah.
so they all now. It's funny. They know if they're going to leave early. Like, I'm going to leave early today, so I'm okay, but I have to leave just a little bit.
that's just
Yeah.
which makes a difference,
Yeah,
right?
it does. Because
Yeah.
then I'm not like, "Are they okay? Like, did something happen?"
Right.
So yeah. So that part's really nice
Yeah.
too. I'm very protective of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
it's a good little family
It
that
is. It is.
that
You can tell.
we have and pound and
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Awesome. Well, you guys did an amazing time. I'm so glad that you were willing to
Thank
come out
you.
We
and
had a blast.
teach and
Yes.
It was so fun.
and do this.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It was
yeah.
a lot of fun. Thank you for
Thank
having
you for
us.
having us. Yeah.
Great.